What's going on, guys? Riley here. Today I'm making a video that I've been putting off for far too long, and that is I am finally going to be reviewing my Nitto NT555R drag radials here on my 6th gen Camaro. I've had these tires on my car for the last 4,000 to 5,000 miles. I've driven them in the rain, I've taken them to the track, I've daily driven with them, obviously. So I'd like to think by now I kind of know how these tires are, and hopefully I can provide this review for you guys if you're in the market for, wanting new tires or if you're wanting a drag radial. So first things first, even though these are by definition drag radials, they are probably the most street tire drag radial that you can buy. And what I mean by that is that they still have grooves in them. You can still drive them in the rain, which I'll talk about a little bit later. These are by no means, racing slicks. They're not a bias ply tire. They are drag radials, quote unquote. However, they're drag radials that you can actually daily drive on and not feeling like you're gonna die if there's, the smallest amount of rain on the road. Now we'll talk about the rain here a little bit later, but that was with these tires not being heated up whatsoever. I literally left my garage about 4 minutes ago and they dead hooked. Now, yes, the tire size out back are 305 35/20s, so 305s are pretty freaking wide. They're still in the stock 20-inch wheels, which are 20 by 11s in the rear. And the factory size was a 305/30, and I went ahead and upped it to a 305/35 to give me a little bit more sidewall, to not only help out with getting a little bit more, sidewall flex out of them, which even though it's probably not much, having that slightly thicker sidewall has actually enabled the car to have a little bit softer ride, which is actually really enjoyable. Now, something a lot of people forget about when they're buying new tires is that when you change the tire diameter, that will change your speedometer. So in my instance, when I'm traveling at 60 miles per hour on the speedometer, it's actually about 62 miles per hour. So if you're gonna get new tires, definitely look up like a tire size calculator. That way you can see how far off your speedometer is going to be. Now, I'm sure a lot of you are sitting there going, Riley, duh, that's common sense, but you'd be surprised how many people don't know that. So if you didn't know, now you know. So when I first got these tires, I left them at about 28 PSI, which I was thinking to myself, okay, well, that's a little bit lower than, the recommended PSI for them. I was like, okay, I guess that would be good. However, one night I was cruising with some buddies. I had one of my friends behind me, and I guess I went through like a puddle from sprinklers or something, and he stopped me at the next red light, and he's like, hey, you're gonna wanna go ahead and drop your tire pressure a lot, because when you went through that puddle back there, the only part of your tire that's touching the ground right now is the middle. So even though I thought the tires were low on tire pressure, they were still, I guess, overinflated for this tire design. So now I daily drive these tires at about 21 PSI when they're cold, and they go up to about 23, and they've been wearing pretty evenly, even though I haven't really honestly seen much signs of wear. So typically when I'm cruising around in this car, the tire pressure will be somewhere between 21 and 23, and that seems to be the sweet spot for these tires. Now, if I was going to the track, I might bring them down to like 20-ish. Last time I was at the track, I had them, I think, at like 21, and they did fine. However, launching this car is a huge pain in the ass on the track, but that's a totally different story for another time. With that being said, launching this car on the street, however, is extremely easy to do. You bring it to about 3,000 RPM, you slip the clutch, you're gone. Now, one downside to having low tire pressure in the rear all the time is that your tire pressure light will be on all the time. So that's one of those annoying little things that you'll have to just learn to live with. At first I hated it, but now it doesn't bother me. So with that being said, are these tires my number one choice if all you're going to be doing is, racing your car at a drag strip? No. What these tires are meant for is for the people that occasionally might go to the track every once in a while, but mainly a tire that you can daily drive on, still get actually decent mileage out of them. I'm expecting to get somewhere between 10 to 15,000 miles out of these tires, which is pretty darn good for a drag radial. So I would highly recommend getting these if you're in that situation. But if you're just looking for a dedicated track tire, I would definitely look into like maybe some Mickey Thompson super sticky bias plies, or Nitto even has some more that are a lot more track oriented. Now, touching back on the rain subject from earlier, in my personal experience, in my opinion, yes, you can drive these in the rain as long as you are mindful that you have drag radials on the back of your car and you're not, being stupid with them. I have driven this car with these tires in pretty heavy rain at normal highway speeds and didn't have a single problem. Would I recommend doing that all the time? No, probably not. But if you're caught out in the rain, let's say you're running errands or something, it starts raining, you know, at first I was like, oh my God, I'm on drag radials in the rain, I'm gonna die. Oh. But then after driving around, I was like, you know, what's the big deal? There's not a problem. And yeah, if you go over probably like half throttle or something, depending on your car, yeah, they'll probably kick out. But thankfully modern cars nowadays have some pretty technologically advanced traction control systems, so that should keep you in check. But like I said, if you're worried about buying these tires and freaking out about, oh my God, if it rains and blah, 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 that seems to be what people care about when they're looking for drag radials. Like, well, can I drive them in the rain? With these tires, my opinion, yes, you can. Now, once again, your results could be different than mine. I'm not saying this is going to be the case for every single vehicle and every single car. However, in my situation, they've been totally fine in the rain. They hook. Now, one unfortunate thing about these tires is that since they are a different diameter than the stock tires that came on this car, the 0 to 60 timer, the quarter-mile timer, all that stuff that was built into this car is now all off by a few miles per hour and a few seconds and stuff, just since the car thinks you're going one speed, however, you're actually going a different speed in the real world. So let's say I were to go out and do a 0 to 60 right now, the computer would probably read like a 4.2, 4.3-ish. However, it would actually be closer to like a 4.0. So to sum this video up, the ideal situation is that you will have a dedicated drag setup for your car, which is a different set of wheels and tires that you would swap on and off for track days. If you don't want to spend the money and you don't want to be swapping tires and wheels and all that stuff all the time, then I would say that these are a really good option if you're wanting to still daily drive your car or drive it often. And drive it in pretty much any condition aside from like, you know, really cold weather. That's one of those situations that I probably wouldn't want to drive these in. But if you're looking for that daily drivable drag radial, I would highly recommend these. They've been great to me so far, and really I couldn't ask for anything better. My good friend ZL113 just went and put these exact same tires on his 2013 ZL1, which is an automatic, and he says that it's super easy to launch now. He can just pretty much floor it and dead hook, and I'm really excited to see what times he puts down at the quarter mile, just to see how much these tires really helped him out. But would I recommend getting these tires? 100% yes, if you're looking for the daily drivable drag radial, like I keep saying over and over again. Don't get me wrong, there is, I guarantee you, better tires out there. However, there's a lot of those better tires I would not want to be caught in the rain with. Also, I guarantee you that these are going to give you some of the highest mileage out of any tire kind of in this segment. To get 15,000 miles out of a drag radial is really impressive, and a lot of those tires, you know, you use them for a few track days or daily driving for 5,000 miles and poof, they're gone. So I hope you guys found this video informative. If you're in the market for some new tires, I'm sorry it took me so long to get this video released. I really don't know why it took me so long to make this video, but hey, better late than never. Thank you guys for watching the video, and I will see you on the next one. Take it easy. Hey buddy, what's up?
Hey man, what you doing?
I'm filming a drag radial review right now.
Interesting.